welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. I'm here with Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hello.
Lucas is here, by the way, preparing questions for our next session. We are here at Billowing Hilltop Central. Say it with confidence. Billowing Hilltop Central. And we're going through some admin, and we're here to do an intro to episode 18. I've already forgotten the name of it.
And we're here to say thank you to our 3 readers, one of whom we think is international.
Yeah, the Swedish person who's
Swedish
subscribed by
person.
mistake. Yeah.
They've joined by mistake. They were looking for a gardening podcast, I think.
Yeah, very likely.
And also thanks everybody for their feedback. We really enjoyed doing that poll.
The Twitter poll, yeah, that was a success, we think, and the results of that will be in the show later on. And a special thanks to the friend of the show, Luke from the D&D Show podcast, who has got many things to say about Lucas's character build choices,
yes,
which we'll be picking up at a later stage.
Didn't agree with them all, though.
Well,
the one about the quarterstaff was quite interesting, because I didn't realise that you could use two handles.
Perhaps we should have a discussion about this actually in the game.
Yes, let's have a discussion about this in the game. It just remains for me to encourage you, to implore you to
Please.
subscribe and to review us on iTunes.
And of course I got a heal.
What? No, we've stopped now. We've moved on. We've moved on.
I thought the produce flame was quite good.
If you come into the offices,
But I
say
had
sorry,
to give
everybody.
up on the 5th level extra attack.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so we implore you to subscribe and to rate and review in your podcast app of choice. Be that
Beyond Pod.
Beyond Pod, yes, Lucas, or on Apple Podcasts or on Stitcher or whatever it is. And it just remains for me to say, sit back and enjoy episode 18. Paul, what was it called again?
You, me, and the devil makes 3.
Ah, yes. D&D. Where we left things, you had just finished a combat in the Temple of Bann Shivu, kind of temple gladiatorial arena weird setup thing, and you'd had a bit of a kind of snootle about in all the sort of in all the ancillary chambers. Don't know if is ancillary the right word. Peripheral. You had anyway. The little network of chambers with the priest's accommodation and the little chapel and everything. You'd been through it and had a bit of a dig about, and you'd found some stuff which we ought to refresh our memories about. And you'd taken a long rest. People need to apply that long rest to make sure you're healed up and you've got your spells back. And you went up a level. What order do you want to go through stuff in? Do you want to do levels first?
Why not?
Okay. The levels, innit?
The levels.
You're all 4th level. 4th level's not the most interesting level. It's not, But you do get a bump. Don't you get a stat bump though, or a feat at 4?
You get ability enhancement.
Mm.
Yeah, you get ability enhancement.
Or a feat if you choose to select one instead. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's start with. I'm looking at the initiative tracker. And the person whose round it would have been had the fight not stopped was Burple. So Burple, what have you done?
I actually had a problem with Burple. I made some bad choices, so it's kind of
Personal choices.
So wrong spells. So basically, I'd chosen what was it? Enhance ability, I think it is, which is a 2nd level spell where you can. It's the old Cat's Grace. Bull strength, all those kind of things, so you can buff one ability,
Right?
But it's a concentration spell, and I also use heroism, which is a 1st level concentration spell, so I was basically never using it. So I swapped. First thing I did was I swapped that out because I could replace one spell, and I took see invisibility, and then I get a new spell, and I took invisibility. So that's kind of sorted out my 2nd level spell a bit more. Yeah.
Tell me about see invisibility. Is see invisibility literally the ability to see? Oh dear, I've set a trap for myself here, haven't I?
Yeah.
I mean, can you see through things like mist and stuff, or is it just people that right? Okay, I'm reading the spell. Okay, you see invisible creatures and objects as if they were invisible, and you can see into the ethereal plane.
Yes.
Gracious. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And
so that's
appear,
what you've got.
They appear ghostly and
Yeah.
So I took those 2 spells, and then I thought of taking Lucky because Graham takes it and uses it to great effect.
Well, the feat.
Yes.
So Graham, but Graham's taken lucky in another one of our games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's used it to great effect. But in my case, I had a problem with armor class, so I needed to do something about that. So I took a point of dexterity.
Yes.
And then because the extra point would give me the extra plus, I took a point of strength as well.
So the point of dexterity has tipped you over to an even number and an extra level of bonus.
Correct. And the same with strength. So I've got basically my armor class is up to 14. It's still not great, but it's better. And my to hit and damage have gone up by 1.
So that's actually pretty. So you're feeling a bit better about yourself.
Well, yes. I still don't think 14 armor class is enough. I'm still going to have to be very careful.
14
still don't have enough.
is not good. There's no way you could swiggle your spells around to get. Are you wearing armor?
Yeah, I'm wearing leather armor.
Are you allowed as bards? What do bards have proficiency in? What, light and medium, or just light?
I think it's light. I've got studded leather, which gives me +2. I can't remember actually what bards.
So we're thinking about 14 is light, definitely light. Okay, well, we'll worry about that later. What about Johnny? What about Grumbold? What's he done?
Right, so I've taken another level of sorcerer because, as you know, I don't like multiclassing. I was going to pick Shatter, but then they have a spell in Herolab called Shadow Blade, which comes from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which I don't have a copy of, but it looked quite a good spell, actually.
Right, yes.
It's probably a little bit too powerful, I think, for the level, but I'm going to pick it. So basically, you create this Shadow Sword in your hand. It does 2d8 psychic damage. You can throw it at people.
What's the range then, as a just standard thrown weapon range?
Not very good. It's about 20 foot, and then you have, I think, increments or whatever. But if it's dim light or darkness, you attack with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've thrown it, it dissipates at the end of the turn, and then you can use a bonus action to make it reappear in your hand.
You in dim light or darkness, but you don't have dark vision.
No.
Small problem.
Dim light.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Work. Well, we'll see how that works out. And anything else?
And then I increase my charisma because that will help with my spells, DCs and stuff. And so I'm now 18 charisma, so I might be a grubby little hobbit, but I'm the best looking hobbit around.
Rubbish.
Well, that's
18 charisma.
Yeah, well, also you're it's not 1978 anymore, Johnny. Charisma is not like comeliness.
Well,
charisma is your person. You're personally magnetic.
Okay, so everybody should be following me around and doing what they're told.
Okay.
Basically, if you're saying I'm not good looking, then that's the thing,
And there we will. Maybe you're so ugly you hold a sort of strange fascination. It's possible. Whatever. We've hit the gap between the rules and reality.
Why don't you try telling me to do something and see how that works?
Yeah, charisma's always been a problematic stat in that anyway, whatever. What about Cuthbert? Ouch, Splinter.
Cuthbert.
Oh, you had a choice because you got your split, aren't you? Multi-class. Sorry.
Yeah, I took a level in Rogue.
Yes.
So I'm now second fighter Rogue. So
you're a rogue?
Yeah, somehow he's managed to sneak that past us.
Thanks for
where
shouting
the
that,
probe
right?
is.
Probes, yeah, rogues and probes. Did anyone explain that to you when you took the extra level?
What's that?
About the probing.
The probing.
Yeah.
You can move up, make an attack, and then do the disengage action.
Yes.
And avoid an attack opportunity. Lucas, are you ready to talk about Parker, or have you not made your decision yet?
Yes. Well, as you said, normally 4th level isn't very interesting, but of course, because I took a level of Druid, therefore 3rd level Monk is interesting.
Right.
So I've decided to go for 3rd level Monk.
Yeah.
Because you get deflect missiles, which is quite nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fire things at you, and you get to choose a monastic tradition. And basically, Way of the Four Elements. Although I have to say, unfortunately, I'm having a little problem with Herolab. Doesn't seem to have it, but there is some online discussion, and I'm sure I'll work it out.
Right.
But that is really cool because you can basically use key points to do all sorts of very nice things.
Right.
Fist of Unbroken Air, doing 3d10 bludgeoning damage for 2 key points. Quite nice.
Yeah, you get. Okay, yeah.
And as I said, you get your deflect missiles, which is quite useful. And
Well, you pick disciplines correctly.
yes,
Correctly?
that's
You
right.
pick, not correctly. You pick disciplines, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yes, well
yes,
done. You picked the correct disciplines.
which one did you? What have you picked? You get elemental attunement, and then do you pick something else, or what? Or you? How does it work?
No, the elemental disciplines. So what I'm not quite sure about, according to this, you don't actually have to choose them in advance.
No, you pick them as you go up levels. Yeah. Basically, you pick. There are a set of elemental disciplines, and you pick them. Some of them have got a level prerequisite. Some of them you can pick straight away. I think Fist of Unbroken Air, for example, you can pick straight away. You spend 2 key points, and you choose a creature within 30 feet of you, and that creature must make a strength saving throw. What I don't really understand about the disciplines is whether or not you pick one.
When you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you learn magical disciplines that harness the power of the 4 elements. A discipline requires you to spend key points each time you use it. You know the elemental attunement discipline and one other elemental discipline of your choice.
Yeah,
which are
okay.
detailed. So I can
What did you
pick
pick?
2. I haven't picked that yet because I was working out how to get that into Herolab.
I wonder whether or not you're going to pick one that's incredibly appropriate just at the moment that it... Okay, well, we'll worry about that in a bit. Anything else? No? Everybody taking average hit points?
Yeah.
So finally, what about Sessions?
Sessions. Okay. Well, Sessions took another level of cleric
Mm-hmm.
because that seemed logical. Gives him access to another 2nd level spell slot
Right.
and another cantrip. So much like Johnny, I delved into Xanathar's guide
Okay.
to everything and found Word of Radiance as a cantrip, which sounds
Oh.
rather cool. I'll be calling this Sound of the Dice.
Yes, I like it.
That causes radiant damage to all creatures I nominate within 30 feet. They have a saving throw.
Within 30 feet of you?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like an aura from you. You don't pick a point at range and do it. Right, okay. Okay, cool. That sounds pretty good. Is that it?
And then I took a feat rather than.
What did you take?
STEM. Well, I took the one that Dan's beautifully trailered and seemed the most appropriate. I took Lucky.
Okay. Why don't you remind me about Lucky?
Lucky is a thrice long resty feat, so you can do it 3 times between long rests, and you basically get the choice to either re-roll
Yes.
or roll again for an opponent on an attack roll made against you.
It's only attack rolls.
No, it's for me. I can re-roll attack rolls,
Saving throws.
saving throws. It's basically it when
Skill
I roll
checks.
a d20.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really
Okay.
annoying.
Saving throws, ability checks, attack
Got it.
rolls.
Got it.
But you can't know the result. You have to declare that you're going to use it before you know the result.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I roll. Okay. So I've got to be careful.
It's the DM's bane.
So in terms of
It's more about announcing things that you've done, I think.
yeah, but so for you, you make a roll to hit, and you roll a number. You look at it. I've got to be careful not to tell you whether or not you succeeded before you decide whether or not
Correct.
to spend one use of your lucky feat.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
When it comes to me,
Hitting Graham.
yeah, if a creature if a creature fires an arrow at Sessions, how does that work? I roll, and if I tell you that I've hit, you tell me how does that work?
You roll what should happen is you roll the dice. He sees the number on the dice and makes the decision. Then it's kind of difficult to do.
Fine. No, we can. Well, we'll try.
Without
Keep me
necessarily
honest, though.
knowing the bonus, because effectively you're able to replace the d20 you
dice
roll
roll.
with the d20 that
I
I
understand.
rolled,
Well,
if it's
keep me
worse.
honest. Yes, keep me honest when the time comes. And I tend to roll the dice, tell you the number, and then do the thing. So yeah.
We had this in the other game, so I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall here. But
Yeah.
the light property on a weapon,
Right.
hand crossbow specifically.
Yes.
So 2-weapon fighting
Yes.
basically says that if you have a light melee weapon,
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about a light range weapon.
That's right, it doesn't, because you can't use it. And the reason I know is because there is the sharpshooter feat, which I picked for the in another game.
Yeah.
And the way that it works is that sharpshooter specifically calls out that feat as allowing you to use a range weapon as your offhand weapon.
Right, so I would need to take the sharpshooter feat in order to be able to do the 2-attack thing with a light crossbow and a hand crossbow and a sword.
Do you know what? I'm talking complete rubbish.
Not been the first
sharpshooter feat doesn't do that. Sharpshooter feat is absolutely brilliant, but it doesn't do that. So it might actually be something that's called out in the assassin path as a rogue. Should we have a quick look? We'll make sure it's.
I'll just read you through it. So a light weapon is small and easy to handle, making it ideal for use when fighting with 2 weapons. See rules for 2-weapon fighting in Chapter 9. 2-weapon fighting. When you take the attack action and attack with a light melee weapon that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon. Yeah. So what's the point of the light property in the case of a hand crossbow? Doesn't do anything.
There is something, and I can't remember where it is.
Okay.
Okay. Well, look, I will have to have a bit of a dig about.
I will have a dig about. Yes.
I found something when I was building Nico's rogue for the Princes of the Apocalypse game. Yep. Which specifically called out as a choice because he was an assassin in a particular kind of feat. I'm not exactly sure which.
Okay.
That he was allowed to use the light crossbow as his offhand weapon.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. So you take a long rest, you level up. I presume you're hunkered down in one of these kind of side chambers off the main temple room. Yep.
That's right.
And you get a little bit of time to study the things that you found when you were. Let's be honest about this. When you were ransacking the chambers, you found some treasure. I'm very hesitant to mention this because I'm very hesitant to mention this because it might be a bit of a time sink.
Well, warriors are perked up. So.
On Theldrek. There wasn't. We're not talking about an awful lot.
No,
of
I'm
stuff.
interested.
On
+1
Theldrek,
ring of protection.
there was a +1 ring of protection. +1
blade.
Yeah.
Scroll of Dispel Magic, heavy crossbow, glaive, statue gem worth 800 gold pieces, a locked chest, blank scrolls, non-magical journal, key with the symbol of the Grey Woodman.
Yeah.
And a mirror.
Well, so the mirror was on the altar in the chapel, and Parker saw a vision in that mirror. It still retains a faint divination aura, but you've got the sense that, I don't know, is it somehow keyed into Parker, or is it certainly other people looked at that mirror and didn't see anything. And as soon as Parker saw it or looked into it, he saw a vision. Do you remember the vision?
Yes.
Good.
Vision of a shaft with water and a barrel bobbing.
That's right. The water receded away from you as if you were looking down a well or a shaft of water. And you saw a barrel surface and start rolling around on the surface of the water when it got to a certain point away from you. The key, well, you don't know. The scrolls have an unspecified, an unidentifiable magic aura on them, but magic they are. And then you've got the book, which is Theldrek's journal, which you get a chance to read while you're resting up. Would you like to hear stuff from Theldrek's journal?
Yes.
There are a couple of entries. I'm not going to put on in a silly voice. I'm just going to use my own silly voice. The first one is dated the 3rd day of Spin Betwixt Years. Spin Betwixt Years is the little 5-day festival that sits between Dismember and Danuary. It says the 3rd day of Spin Betwixt Years. Praise be to the Queen Marshal. It says the Faceless One grows increasingly concerned. That addled beast Gralak Kerr has yet to provide new insights into the Overgod's nature. The crude missives he sends speak of the worms, of a slumbering power that must be awoken, but nothing more. I wish he would go back to the underforest that spawned him, if he has nothing more to offer. The Faceless One tells me this ties into an ancient figure, a being of great power, Of course, he tells me little else. He enjoys keeping his secrets, but he forgets that they flourish only behind the protection of Bann Shivu. His latest taunt is a scroll he tells me contains all the answers I seek. Of course, the fool wrote it in a cipher. Were it not for the dictates of the Ebon Triad, I would lead my troops into their damnable lair and kill every last wizard within it. Gralak is the key. Thank the Scourge that he trusts me and not the Faceless One. Otherwise, I doubt the Faceless One would bother imparting anything to us. We cannot trust these mages. When the Overgod arises, I think it will be time to settle some old scores. The second entry is dated weekday the 4th of February. So quite recently. It's now Thump Day the 11th of February. She makes the note. The Horde will howl and our queen will lead us. Gralak Kerr has finally yielded a useful clue. I personally delivered it to the Faceless One, who giggled like a blood-addled berserker when he saw the message. Gralak spoke of the worms again, of course. He says that even now they stir and writhe. The world is like an apple infested with them. All seems well for now, but soon they burst through the skin and swarm across the land. Still, part of this vision troubles me. Gralak spoke of a great power behind them, but the Ebon Triad teaches that these worms will awaken the Overgod. Is there some other power at hand here that we cannot see, and is it friend or foe? The Faceless One knows more, but he, of course, has little to say. Perhaps Gralak has invented everything. His monstrous kin are few in number and battered after their pilgrimage through the dark. If he is an impostor or trickster, we may need to root him out of this place. In that case, our agents should make another supply run. 6 coils of rope and perhaps bows and more arrows should do the trick. With the petitioners leading the way, we can uncover any ambushes they have within the cliffs. And that was the second one.
Well, there's some possibilities there.
Should we be taking this back to Hesty Testapod?
Oh, yes.
Almost certainly.
And that could well be the scroll that we're holding.
Yes.
As mentioned.
Yes, so it looks like she's referring to that scroll. She refers to this figure called the Faceless One.
Yes.
And these wizards.
And the Faceless One seems to be further down because they need more rope.
Well, no. Well, maybe
we could be.
It seems yes.
Maybe.
The thing is, what she says is perhaps Gralak has invented everything. His monstrous kin are few in number and battered after their pilgrimage in the dark. We may need to root him out of this place. In that case, our agents must make another supply run. So she's talking about Gralak there. Looks like she's talking about 2 distinct figures. One is the Faceless One, and then one is this character called Gralak Kerr, who seems to be, you might infer from the way that she describes him, it, her, and their actions, some kind of seer or some kind of prophet.
Yes.
And then you've got a character called the Faceless One who seems to be being passed all of this information.
Can I make some kind of knowledge check to see whether any of this makes sense to me from anything that I'd heard from the monastery?
You most certainly can. Anybody could make just a straight intelligence check or a history check or an arcana check or a religion check. So any of those kinds of checks I might be able to give you a little bit more.
Not for me.
Not looking promising.
Not my strong points.
I can. I've got +1.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I don't have any pluses.
10. Good, safe, middle of the road number.
15.
So there's a 15. What is that?
That's an arcana.
So 15 arcana from Burple and a 10 from
Religion.
Religion. Okay. Well,
16 from me.
16 from Grimbold. What kind of test are you making? What kind of check are you making?
They're all -1, religion or arcana.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anything, right?
I'm going to try religion.
Yeah. Well, let's combine your checks and let me give you a little bit more information or a bit of context. So the first thing I can tell you is this reference to something called the Underforest. The Underforest, it's got lots of different names. There are legends that stretching beneath the earth for countless miles is a sort of realm of
The
dark
Underdark.
woodland. Not so much the dark. So there is no Underdark. There is something that's called the Dunge that sits underneath Evenstar. Yeah. So Evenstar is a city about 3 days' ride west of where you are, and it sits on these barrier cliffs that overlook this kind of land called this region called the Lands That Wait. We aren't going to go into that too much, but the Lands That Wait are not good. And they are the things that wait, or the creatures that wait, or just those that wait, is the way that the people of Evenstar refer to the denizens of the lands that wait, and effectively we're talking about evil people. It's like it was once possibly some kind of inland sea, but it's now gone, and instead there is a jungle that sits at the base of these giant cliffs that Evenstar sits at the top of. Riddled in through these cliffs under Evenstar is this thing called the Dunge, and it is rumoured to go, and its little spider tentacles of catacombs and passageways, halls, and even cities spread for vast distances under the earth, under Evenstar, and out towards where you are. In parallel to this, and nearer to the surface, the legend is that there is this realm. Some people call it the Underforest, some people call it the Dark Timber, but it is where the worshippers of the Grey Woodsman are meant to live. It's a dark woodland realm. Yep. So this reference to the Underforest may refer to that. Therefore, that you could therefore infer from that Gralak Kerr is some worshipper of the Grey Woodsman. He or she has come from the Underforest and must be some kind of seer or prophet who seems to be pulling out of somewhere visions or wisdom or information about this age of worms, the undead, and all this stuff. And this is being passed to this character called the Faceless One. That's not a bad start for one decent Arcana check. Other than that, I don't think that your knowledge is going to get you very far. I'm trying to see if there's any other kind of things that I should refer to. No, not really.
Okay, so back to the magic. There's a +1 ring of protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what else?
It's a +1 ring, and it's a scroll of dispel magic.
+1 half plate.
+1 half plate.
+1 half plate. Okay, 3 items.
And there's some blank scrolls. Apparently, all these scrolls that were referred to.
Well, that's just the party item, isn't it? So, who wants the +1 ring?
Me.
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 I have armor class 14. I need it.
I'm class 15.
Is protection saves or
Oh, that's a good point.
I've got it's a ring of protection.
Yes, but what does a ring of protection do?
Isn't it armor class?
Well, that's the question that Graham was asking. Ring of protection.
Well, now look it up.
I'm looking it up. Ring of protection, rare. You gain +1 bonus to armor class and saving throws.
Oh, okay. It's the good old-fashioned version. Okay, that sounds
Right,
cool.
so should we roll for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are we rolling for choice?
And what's the other thing? Sure, let's roll for choice.
Roll for choice, the 3 items.
So we're rolling D100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody dare make their first roll? Oh,
Yeah,
so
I will.
36.
Lucas gets 89. Motherfucker.
43. Who hasn't rolled? 21.
Okay. Right. Let's attack Parker. Get him in.
So Parker, you're first.
What armor do you wear, Parker? What armor do you
don't.
have? You don't.
Actually, he probably needs the ring.
It's probably it's probably right.
Thank you. I will take the ring.
Okay. I'm second, yeah? I'll take the... So what is there? Half plate and a scroll?
Half plate and the scroll of dispel magic.
I'll take the half plate, obviously.
Who's next?
Me. Well, I'll take the scroll of dispel magic then.
Okay.
Johnny, do you want anything?
There isn't anything.
Well, is
I
there
suppose
a
it's...
GP thing, is there?
Yes. Yeah.
There's the gem.
800 GP gem. I'll take that.
Okay. I'll take the locked chest.
The locked chest, okay.
Thank you.
Right.
This is the locked chest.
It's a locked chest. You found it in what looked like the sleeping chamber of a couple of priests.
Have we not opened it?
No.
And they tried to open it with thieves' picks and tools, but failed.
How big is the chest, out of interest?
Oh, it's about the size of a chest.
That's really helpful.
No, you know.
What,
I
child's
kinda-
chest?
Probably a couple of feet
Or an
wide.
adult?
Couple of feet
Male,
wide.
female?
Dolly
Yeah,
Parton's
I
chest.
Couple of feet wide by a foot high by a foot deep. Let's call it that. So not big enough. Not big enough for
to carry.
Say again.
2 hands to carry.
2 hands to carry. Yeah, you need to put it in a sack or something. And it's not big enough to hold anything like a sword, for example, or any armor or anything like that.
Can I try and open it again?
You most certainly can.
Okay.
I'm standing back.
But
I thought
watching.
Are you all gathered in this? You're all gathered in the kind of the priest's bedchamber, right?
Which one's that? Where we're kind of stood at the moment?
In the far corner of the complex, tucked away past the room with the altar in it, and yeah.
The very small 10.
Have we searched it all? Have we searched it all, Mike?
Okay, well, so in terms of searching, I think I'd say that you've ransacked it. So you scrambled through at the end of the combat, quickly doing a search of everywhere, looking under stuff, pulling stuff to one side, detecting.
And then
magic.
we did a long rest and we searched the whole place.
Well, then you've done a long rest and you've read the journal and you've done your leveling up. You haven't done a fingertip search of the walls, looking for secret compartments or anything like that.
But we can do that during a long rest, can't we?
You can do it, yeah, within reason. It's quite a big complex, but yes.
Yeah, but we don't. I mean,
Make a start.
Not exerting ourselves.
I think the rules on long rest is that you've got to spend about half of your time in an activity, something like that. So yeah, you can spend half of your time reflecting and recuperating and meditating if necessary for getting spells back, and the other half of the time you could spend in kind of light duties doing a quick search or even an intensive search of this complex. Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't find anything.
Okay, I'm going to try and open the chest.
Okay.
Getting
I'm not standing. I'm standing
20.
40 feet away.
An 18 that translates into a 20.
Yes.
Surely you get more than that. Aren't you proficient with thieves' picks and tools?
I am. So it's +2. Sorry, it's an 18 that gets 22.
22. Let me have a quick look and see what that gets you. Here we are.
Oh, what armor do you wear?
I wear.
That's good enough.
I wear studded leather.
And the chest contains no magic.
You say food.
You'll be delighted to hear.
Yeah, I am.
But it does contain. Let me just check for you. Can't bloody find it. God, it's so annoying. Here we go. So there's 200 gold in coins, and there's a jeweled bracer, and you reckon that's worth a fair amount more money, but difficult to pin a value on it without making some kind of educated check or guess.
Okay.
There's a what? Sorry, there's a jeweled bracer and a what?
And just 200 gold pieces in cash.
There's 200 gold pieces in coins, and there's a jeweled bracer.
Brilliant. Party funds.
Is it magical?
No.
And then just do search the chest for secret bottoms and things.
There's an actual non-secret bottom in there, just a bottom sitting at the bottom of the chest. Yeah.
Right.
No, there's no false bottom or anything like that.
Is it
There's only a
attractive?
real bottom. There's a real bottom.
Okay.
Bottom. Big
Marvellous.
Giant bottoms. Yeah. Now, so you've now spent 8 hours tucked away in the corner of this place. You didn't, as far as I could tell, post any kind of guard. You've rested up and done your stuff. Okay, what do you want to do now?
I'd like to redo my leveling up.
In what sense?
Well, if I take medium armor proficiency,
Yeah.
I could use the half plate, which would give me, I think, another 4 points of armor of armor class, which is fairly significant.
That's unprecedented.
I'll allow it. Yeah.
Let me just check I can actually take that.
Friend guide storyteller.
I'm sure you can take the feet.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, should we head over to the main entrance hall? And there's 2 more doors, isn't there?
Yeah. The only thing that you've not really looked at much are those scrolls.
Do you have the strength?
What strength do you need? I think I do, yes.
15, you probably do.
Yeah, it's just so much better.
Yeah, then basically you're down to just the stealth disadvantage clunking around, which is hardly anything.
Yeah. And it gives me a point, moderately armored, gives me a point of strength or dexterity as well.
Can you use spells with the armor on?
I think I can, yeah.
I don't think there aren't any of those rules anymore, are there?
Not aware of any.
Do you have divine spells or arcane spells? Arcane spells.
Arcane.
Okay.
Why are spell users not wearing armor then?
You can, if you want to be a wizard that wears plate mail, you have to burn 2 feats, I think. You have to burn the medium armor proficiency feat. No, you have to burn 3, don't you? Are you proficient in light armor as a wizard? I don't think you are. So you have to burn load of feats.
But I'm not a wizard. I'm a bard.
Yeah, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So
by doing that, I get the strength increase. Oh, I need to put it on. Would help if I actually put it on. And what does that do to me?
Should we have a look at the scrolls then? I think Mike's hinting there.
Yeah.
I wasn't so much hinting as just sort of saying, well, what do you want to do? They definitely radiate magic.
It's something for Graham or for Hester.
That's so much better. That makes me armor class 18.
Oh. You'd think that it's... Yeah.
It's for Sessions or Hesty Testy Poddy.
You think there's some there's a magical aura on the scrolls, and you reckon some kind of combination of something to do with an Arcana check would be required.
That's me, Paul. I'm the primary spell user.
No, I was thinking about the.
I'm going to make an Arcana check, mate. See if I can figure out what it's.
Yes, I'm going to do the same. Yes, purple was
natural 20.
A natural 20, and what's your bonus?
A natural 20.
Oh, I see. That is.
Dan gets 19. Grimbold, come on. What do you get on your Arcana check, Grimbold?
No, hold up. I think that what Sessions can determine is that there is some kind of magical writing on the scrolls. Mm-hmm. You have to kind of hold them up to the light, peer with a detect magic running, which you have, yes.
Yes, I can do it as a ritual. Mm-hmm.
You can, yeah. So with your detect magic running and a high Arcana check, you can determine that there is some kind of script on the scrolls, but somebody's going to need but it's in some kind of cipher. You don't know that it's beyond your powers to decipher it, to decrypt it, but you reckon it would be tough. You think it's possible, but tough.
And it's just a code, or it needs kind of...
Well, it's a magical writing, invisible to the naked eye. You've managed to pick it out with a with a detect magic and a really good Arcana check. Now you'd need to make probably some kind of investigation check to actually decipher the writing.
Mm-hmm.
You could give it a go, but I don't know what your investigation number is.
It's quite similar to my knowledge Arcana number.
Okay, you're thinking that might you're going to need a bit of help then.
Hesty.
Well, I'm going to have a go with my +1.
Go. Okay. I think that since
10.
Okay. Okay, well that's not enough. I don't think you need to make the Arcana check. I think if you've got detect magic running and you can see magical auras, now that Sessions points out that there is a script on the scrolls, you don't need to make that Arcana check to see it, but you will need to make some kind of fairly scary investigation check, intelligence check to decipher it.
Okay, well I'm going to try that.
Okay, going to give another go. Okay.
Oh yeah. 12. Not much.
Is not enough. Maybe there's a
scratch
code
my head
somewhere. In the journal, Theldrek, she says, his latest taunt is a scroll that he tells me contains all the answers I seek. Of course, the fool wrote it in a cipher. Potentially, there might be some way of decoding it somewhere else.
Comprehend languages spell.
Comprehend languages would do it.
I don't have that. Am I really going to use
not the kind of thing you would pick?
Spells
your precious spell points.
Yes, precious spells. Comprehend languages, featherfall.
Useless.
Very useful if you have to read the instructions on a parachute in Russian.
Well, should we head over to the other doors anyway? Anybody?
Having a think. See if I don't have.
Head over this way. Are all those cultists dead?
You have no idea. Nobody's had any look. You left the doors open. So you're padding.
I'm padding
quietly out, are you, Grimbold?
Yeah, quietly.
Okay. Give me a stealth check if you want to be quiet.
Okay.
The torches have burnt out. How are you seeing?
Eyes.
Well,
a light
eyes
spell.
in the dark.
I'm a light spell, but I'm shielding it, so it's producing a dim light.
Okay, so you're using a light spell to kind of give you a little bit of a bit like your phone. A little bit of local illumination. Yep.
Yeah, and my stealth is 18.
Okay, that's a decent roll. So you're quiet at least.
Very quiet anyway, as a hobbit.
The whole sort of cathedral chamber at the base of the elevator shaft, and all of this area was lit by torches, but those torches have gone out. There is a little bit of light coming from the chamber to your north, because there's an ever-burning torch burning in there. Yeah. So that light spills out into the chamber that you're about to cross, and then you'd be heading into darkness as you walk back towards the elevator. There's no sound coming from down there.
Right, I'm going to proceed forward. Anybody else coming?
Give me a perception check.
Perception is -1, so I roll a 10.
You can detect the faintest kind of scent of autumnal bonfire smoke in the air, which is something that you picked up before when you looked down that corridor that leads off, the narrow corridor that leads off to the west from the elevator. That's in the air as you approach.
No burning bodies, it's wood smoke, is it?
Yeah, it's wood smoke. It smells like bonfires, autumn bonfires.
Right.
Give me a religion check.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. No, it's nothing. It's maybe something in the back of your mind that it jogs a memory of some sort, this idea of bonfire smoke, but it's not joining up.
Right. Well, I'll proceed forward. Anybody else following me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
I shouldn't really be at the front, should I? I'm a primary saucer.
I think you'll find that I was
protecting me.
I was the primary saucer.
Give me another stealth check.
I think we established that last time.
Saucer?
Yes,
I'm
the
a
primary
sorcerer.
The cup and saucer. You're going to give me another stealth check, Grimbold, and a stealth check, please, from the incredibly clumpy sessions.
I roll an 8, but I'm a hobbit.
Oh, yes,
Stealth. My stealth is plus.
And start with Grimbold.
Yeah, I get 61. Obviously, that's not.
Well, I rolled
right
No, you've rolled the wrong dice there.
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah, you've not been super quiet. Okay.
Well,
You're padding up towards the end of the corridor where it opens out into this chamber. You can smell smoke a little bit more distinctly.
Can we hear anything?
What can you hear? You can hear not much. You can hear perhaps the sound every now and again of a kind of echoing, clanking sound, or a kind of slight kind of banging sound that might be the elevator in the shaft at the top just swinging in whatever underground breezes might kind of disturb it, and that will kind of reverberate down. You can occasionally hear a kind of perhaps a sort of slosh or bubble that might be coming from that dark pool of liquid away to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, no, nothing. There are no cultists. They seem to have gone. The elevator's gone.
The elevator's gone.
Well, I mean, the elevator is on a hand winch. It doesn't have a call button. You need to be on it to move it. So
we've got no way out.
That we know of. You don't seem to have a way out unless you can climb. Yeah, but it's a good, I think, 30 or 40 feet to the ceiling for starters. And then it's a 10-foot wide shaft, so you wouldn't even be able to brace yourselves.
Okay, well, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
If you had a bridge, that would be useful.
It would.
The door to the north, well, you don't know. But there's no light spilling down from that corridor to the north. If you remember earlier, that door opened while you were involved in the fight with all of the denizens of this temple. Mm-hmm. And Burple kind of had a quick look at what was going on. He could see north, and he could see into a room with strange columns and markings and bone white flagstones and all sorts of weirdness, which was seen to be lit by some kind of illumination. Well, that's not. There is no light coming from up there anymore, so you can presume that door is either closed or the lights are out.
Mm-hmm. 2 pathways, north or west.
North.
Johnny, which one are you going for?
I'm not going anywhere because I'm not the sort of person that goes at the front, Paul.
What about Parker? Cuthbert.
We need a rogue. That's what we need at the moment. A rogue, a probe. Is there a rogue in the party? Oh,
no.
Just to be clear, we've got Grimbold is Grimbold is about 10 feet from the end of the corridor leading out into the main cathedral chamber, and then he's being followed up by Sessions and then Parker. Where's Burple?
Burple's there as well.
Oh yeah, and Burple.
Cuthbert's skulking back.
Cuthbert is skulking, right back in the main kind of complex.
To this sort of brave, young chap that wanted to be at the front and all that.
But that's what they do. You call for the person at the back, the special team. Signal him forward off the bench.
Well, it's dark, so how?
I've got a light spell.
I've got a light spell too.
Okay. So you've got a little bit of light spilling away from you out into this chamber. All quiet.
All right. I'm going up the front.
Hello?
Anyone there? Sessions. Do you want to Sessions? Do you want to now you get close enough to the main room, you pick up this smell of smoke that Grimbold has not mentioned to you yet. Give me a religion check.
20, natural 20 again.
Natural 20. Okay. Well, there we are. You know what this is, or you can guess what this is. The lairs of followers of the Grey Woodsman tend to be smoky, and so I'm putting that in a really bad way. You tend to find bonfire smoke, and in the lairs of the followers of the Grey Woodsman.
Oh. They're having a Barbie, guys.
Yep. It's a telltale sign that you're close to one of their little nests.
I'm going to
I relay this information to my cohorts.
I'm going to sneak to the entrance to the main hall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to roll a stealth check.
Yeah, give me a stealth check.
Oh my god. At his absolute finest.
What do you drop?
With a +7, he rolls a total of 9, meaning he rolled a 2.
9 is not a catastrophic. Okay, but you weren't particularly quiet.
No. I was averagely
silent. Yeah.
I was averagely quiet.
Anybody else? What about Parker? Let's pick up with Parker.
Yes, my lady.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything? Do you want to just hang back?
I'm just stay where I am at the moment.
Cuthbert, you roll a 2, you get a 9. Not much happens. Parker is somehow paralyzed at the back of the party. You're all creeping forward. He doesn't seem to be moving. He seems to be fiddling with something. You're not quite sure.
His eyes flickering.
Yeah, he's frantically.
He's on his iPhone.
He's frantically typing. He's got some kind of object that he's on his all fours. He's got some sort of object on the ground which he's got his hand cupped over, and he's sort of sweeping it around on the floor, and then he's looking at something that you can't see, and he keeps kind of tutting. Anyway, you hear. And the door to the north is clearly opening, and you can see the sweep of light as the door opens. Yeah, and light floods out down the corridor from the north and into this main chamber, illuminating the area where the lift descends into and the pillars and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And laid out, clearly running all the way down the corridor and from this doorway and into the room is a shadow. There's light behind a figure that must be in this doorway. That figure, bulky, horned, carrying some kind of large weapon. You know what, Cuthbert? Give me a perception check, Cuthbert, and Grimbold, and Sessions, who can all see this shadow. Sorry, just Cuthbert and Grimbold.
14. Oh no, sorry. 9.
21.
Yeah, 21
I rolled above a 10.
21 is good for Cuthbert. Quite how you might communicate this to your fellows without making a noise, I'm not sure. But you recognise that this creature is holding a weapon in one hand. You can see the shadow of it. And the weapon is the same shape as, well, it's a glaive. It's that shape you've seen everywhere else in this temple complex. Mm-hmm. Because the glaive and the wooden shield, or the glaive through the wooden shield, is the symbol of Bann Shivu. So there's a figure standing in the doorway, light behind it, casting a shadow, bulky, horned,
Is that a
and
tiefling?
holding what looks like a glaive, not like tiefling horns, Grumbold. Even you can see that, even with your lousy... more spiky, more
like a devil,
more
or a
diabolical.
demon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then as you notice this shadow and this light, the shadow just dissipates. Doesn't move, doesn't step away. It just goes
invisible.
He's gone invisible.
Not invisible, no. It doesn't blink out of existence. It's like it was made out of smoke, and that smoke gets blown away.
And where was that?
Gaseous form?
Ethereal.
Well, that was a shadow being cast by somebody standing in the northern doorway. The door that was open before is closed now, but now seems to have opened again. Yeah.
Okay. Can I poke my head around the corner? Let's have a look at the door.
Yeah, attached to your body, or are you just going to put it on a stick or something?
Hey!
Attached to my body.
Okay.
What can I
you have
see?
your body on? No. So you can't see anything. What you got? Dark vision?
Yes.
So the room is laid out as it was. It's empty. You can see light still flooding down from the corridor to the north. Your angle doesn't give you a view of the door itself or the end of that corridor. And there are no figures or movement or anything.
If only we had somebody who could see invisible.
I can.
Oh yeah.
Same.
I'm going to do a false life.
No shit.
Alright, so see invisibility is not concentration, it just lasts an hour. So I'm going to cast that.
Okay.
Not that it's necessary. It didn't sound like it went invisible, so it's probably not going to help, but I'll cast it anyway.
Right.
And then I might actually go invisible myself.
Okay. You
Which
won't
is
know,
a
obviously, because you've got see invisibility cast.
Yeah.
So for you, there'll be no difference. Let's go round then. Everybody gets a go.
I get 6 points for my false life, by the way.
Grimble gets 6 points from his false life. Cuthbert has popped his head round the corner, has had a look. Burple has cast... Well, he's taken a couple of actions. He's cast detect invisibility, and then he's cast invisibility. So anybody else want to do anything? Parker's at the back fiddling with his character sheet. Burple's had a couple of actions. Sessions, you've got an action to spare, should you want to use it?
No, I think at the moment I'm just going to contemplate.
Okay, so let's go round again from the start then. Cuthbert.
Cuthbert's going to move south about 10 foot, but move into the room and kind of crawl along the wall. He gets a stealth check. He rolls a 9, getting a 13.
The stealth check, yep.
But I'd also...
you can see a little bit more.
That's
as you turn
perception check, but I'd like to roll a...
check.
Yes, a 13 on the perception check, so I'd like to see what's going on.
Semi-decent, yep.
I'd also like to roll a stealth check as well, just so I'm not going to notice. So I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
I roll a 1.
You roll a 1.
Getting
Cuthbert.
an 8. Cuthbert
is drop something, I suspect, or skitter a pebble.
Yeah.
Or there's a twig.
Sneeze.
There's a twig. There's a twig, and there's a load of leaves and a twig that you stand on.
Stub my toe and go, oh, fuck!
Yep. Boing. There's a tin can. There's a bottle that you kick over. Anyway, whatever it is, you make a noise, Cuthbert.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems incredibly loud in context. Yes, just echoing around this space. Everybody just freezes.
I'm in a cathedral.
Yeah, exactly.
Built to echo noise.
If you skitter a pebble, it's like...
I freeze.
You freeze. Okay, well, there's no reaction to your mishap. You can see a little bit further up the corridor to the north from the angle that you've picked as you head south. Weirdly, you open that angle up. But you can't see the door. The light is still streaming down from the north. There's nothing else. What about Grimbold?
I'm going to move to the corner there.
Yeah, so you're moving up to the corner of the room.
And then I'm going to... Do I want to fire off all my spells? That's the thing.
Do you want to try and be quiet, or are you not bothering anymore?
No, I'm not going to bother.
Fine.
I'm moving up there, readying an action to cast... Oh no, I don't want to do that, because I have to actually cast a spell, don't I? No, I'll just stay there.
Okay, Sessions?
Yeah, I think Sessions, I'm going to go wandering back this way. Towards the I have a plan.
Okay.
These chambers where there were a lot of the cultists hold up. I'm looking to see if they left any of their garb behind.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah. There's light in that chamber up to the north as you walk back into the complex as well, so you can see there's an idol to Bann Shivu standing on a packing crate in the middle of the room, surrounded by assorted bits and bobs. Yes, I think it's reasonable to say that there are a couple of sets of robes.
Okay,
it might be a bit big on you. You might look again like you've hit the dressing up box as a 5-year-old.
He looks like E.T.
Yes.
Listen, exactly. I will haul up the gowns.
Yeah.
As best I can, and I'm gonna don one. So.
Okay, gotcha. Burple.
Burple is going to do an invisibility on himself and move.
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there.
So moving up to the entrance to the main cathedral chamber. Parker?
Just behind Grimbold, yeah.
I think I'll follow Sessions and do the same.
Okay, well you can pick up the other set of robes in the sort of store chamber, whatever it is. Okay, and let's go back to Cuthbert again. What do you want to do, Cuthbert? There's nothing happening here. I mean, there's no noise, there's no anything.
I think what Cuthbert is going to do is he's going to head west.
So across the room?
He's going to go across the room.
Towards the other narrow passageway leading away towards the bonfire smoke. Yep.
And he's going to look down the passageway.
Okay, so it's really quite smoky when you get to there.
Can I roll a perception check?
It's like you're standing, if you've ever walked down a road past the sides or the backs of gardens where people have been having a bonfire and you walk quite close, it's quite like that now. Yes?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
I'll give you a perception check. I roll a 13, getting total of 17.
Yeah, well that's perfectly decent. And you notice as you peer down that narrow corridor. So this little narrow corridor heads off to the west, ends in a kind of weird white door made of something like bone or ivory. Yeah. There are no symbols or anything anywhere, but scattered around in front of the door and with increasingly less or increasingly lower frequency as it gets towards you are dried autumn leaves.
Oh.
Give me a religion check. Well, I'm not saying that you're going to make it. Just roll the dice.
All right, well, I'm going to do that.
Or just a straight. Is religion intelligence or wisdom?
I get a 17. I get a 17. I roll an 18. I get a 17.
Yeah, something in the back. So Cuthbert was paying attention at school that day. Again, it's the Grey Woodsman. It's a key signifier of the lair of the followers of the Grey Woodsman. The Silence in the Forest, the Mad Axeman, and the Feller of Souls are autumn leaves, just out of context, scattered from nowhere.
It's a bit Scandi noir, isn't it?
Yeah, you need a torch and an automatic pistol. Cross your hand with a torch. Hold the torch like a sword grip, with the beam facing down. Then flip it, rest it over the top of your other wrist as you point the pistol down the corridor. Yeah, then you need an absurdly enormous jumper. Yeah, and a sou'wester.
And the horizon is always vast.
And lots of shots of cars driving at night from above.
Yeah. And it's just grim and grey.
Yeah.
And miserable.
Grimbold?
I am moving over to Parker and I'm going to grab a robe.
Run out of robes. There were a couple of pairs of robes. So you... also, how would you know?
Yeah.
That's true. Know. Yeah. Well, actually, I know. Yes. All right. Okay. I'm going this way then. I'm going into the room.
Yep.
To the base of the elevator. It's got a wall.
Give me a perception check.
I'm rolling a perception check, which is 17.
Okay.
And do I notice anything?
No.
And what else should I do? I'm going to do a cantrip because it's free. I'm going to do a poison spray.
Yep.
No, I have to be able to see it. Doesn't matter.
Okay, so that's what you're doing. So you're tucked up, hunkered away around by the kind of little wooden framework that sits around the elevator at the bottom.
Yeah, because I'm a hobbit, I can actually. I'm naturally stealthy, which means
give me a stealth check.
I can hide even when obscured by. Well,
I know you can, but you still need to make a stealth check.
Okay, so +3 on this. I roll 20.
Okay, very good. So you've become virtually invisible, a tiny figure hunkered up in the shadows next to the old elevator. Burple?
So that door is closed, right?
Which door?
The one at the north.
No, the door opened. You heard it go. That's where you saw the shadow being thrown from, and light is spilling down the corridor from the north.
Okay, well I'm going to move up to there.
So you're moving up to the
Stealthily.
northern end of this cathedral chamber, just tucked round the corner from this door.
Actually, I can't get that far, so I'm going to go to there.
Cuthbert's looking at Burple and just like, what the fuck are you doing?
So can you just describe what Burple did in terms of somebody who couldn't see the...
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to emerge from the corridor from which I am standing, go round the wall, the east wall, up to the north wall, and take up a position. I'm moving stealthily, and don't forget I'm invisible.
So you're heading up towards that northern passage where the door has just opened and you saw the shadow.
Correct.
Got it.
But
And you're invisible. Give me a stealth check.
Stealth check. Getting a 14.
Okay, it's a decent stealth check.
Disadvantage, aren't you?
Do I thought it was at -1.
No,
What's the disadvantage
on stealth?
From what? From what? Oh, from the bloody... Oh.
Disadvantage. It is disadvantage.
Roll again.
Okay, so I will roll again, cock bastard. Getting an 8.
Clang.
I'll bump into the pillar. Dong! Oh, so shit.
Brilliant, yeah.
Is that you,
Bang
Burple?
bam
What are you
brace.
doing?
Oh, bollocks! Okay, what about the disguised twins down here?
Oh, well, now that we're disguised, I think we'll head back round.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what are we doing? 30.
Looking
There's
like
a couple of cultists down here we didn't get rid of.
Looking as much like cultists of Bann Shivu as you can manage.
We're looking
Okay.
like...
Kind of move around there.
Yeah, got it.
Move? Yeah, right, yeah.
Got
So
round to
same. Yeah, there we
No,
go.
you're not trying to be
So
quiet because you're cultists of Bann Shivu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Papers, please.
Yeah.
Good luck. Oh, thank you very much.
So, Bann Shivu. Wow, what a man, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What a gig! What a gig last night.
What a guy Bann Shivu, Queen Marshal of the Howling Horde is. Yeah. Really been paying attention there.
Great. I love his great. His last
Where
love-
did
I
everyone
love
else
his work.
go?
I love his work. The Queen, I love his work. Yeah. Okay, that's mildly hopeless. Let's go back to Cuthbert, intrepid Cuthbert. Oh no, sorry, Burple. I'm very sorry.
Yes.
Well,
Very
I
sorry
thought
to
maybe we
interrupt,
could try and walk up through the door.
Burple, I didn't give you the opportunity to make a perception
Yeah.
check, which I should have done.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah, okay, perception check. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't be any less
my
subtle than
skill-
these other guys.
No.
Okay, so perception check
Hi.
goes like this. Ba-da-ba-da. It's perception. Getting a 4. Rolling a 1.
You can barely see your hand in front of you.
I can see invisible though.
Yeah, you can see invisible as long as it's really obvious. As long as it's really obvious.
As long as it's got a big flashing neon arrow on
Basically,
its head.
needn't have bothered with the invisibility because
Yeah,
okay.
just clang up there, and basically that's the reason I bumped into the pillar is I've got my eyes closed.
I'm blind.
Okay, that is. Let's go back to Cuthbert. What do you want to do, Cuthbert?
Cuthbert is going to now. I'm looking at Burple. Is Burple
No, you're not,
looking
because
at?
I'm invisible.
Oh my god, I'm not looking at Burple. All right, in which
I've made
case,
an awful lot of noise.
Yeah, your head whips round, Cuthbert, when you hear the clang from the north. You're not quite sure what made that noise.
oh god, it's that idiot.
You look behind you to see
God.
Grimbold, but his stealth check is so fantastic that you can't see Grimbold either. And then the only thing you can see is a couple of these cultists coming up behind you.
Hang on, my stealth check I got an 8, just to be clear. It's not like a nailed on fail.
Yeah, but we're having fun with you.
Yeah, it's like
Saying,
it's like an 8-year-old with a bag of bells.
Yeah, it's like an 8-year-old with a bag of bells.
I think I'm going to use that more often. I'm going to try that tomorrow.
I'm going to try it tomorrow as well.
In meetings.
In meetings. No, that idea is like an 8-year-old with a bag of bells.
It's a very versatile phrase, isn't it? You can use lots of different circumstances.
Right, Cuthbert, what are you doing?
Cuthbert's going to go around the corner.
And you're padding west towards this door?
I'm west towards this doorway.
Yeah, excellent.
And I'm going to roll another stealth check.
Yeah.
Rolling a 18 on the dice for a 25.
Yes. Silent as a ghost. Yeah.
And I'm going to come up to the door and roll a
Yeah.
perception check.
Okay.
Rolling a 15 for a 19 on perception on the door to listen.
To listen at the door. So you're placing your ear up against it?
Yes.
You can hear distant screams, the occasional kind of skitter, an echoey skitter of something like pebbles falling or rattling around in kind of spaces. That's what you can hear. And there's a door in front of you. There's a keyhole.
Oh, do I have an opportunity to look through the keyhole as well?
Yeah, why not? You're going to look through the keyhole?
I'm going to look through the keyhole. Do you want a perception check?
No, there's no need. You can see through the keyhole. You can't see much because there's too much smoke. So, but you think you're looking into a kind of tight, like a tunnel as tight as a throat. A little tunnel that looks like it's meandering away from you and down. You can see a little bit of wall and a little bit of floor as it sort of turns away from you, and you can't see very far.
Okay.
And it's dark, obviously, but you've got dark vision. But also, it's much more smoky past the keyhole than it is out here in the corridor.
Okay.
I think that'll do for you.
I think that'll do for me.
Who picked up the key?
Me.
Okay, well, there we are. I might go back and check that. Let's go back to Grimbold.
Just staying where I am. Yes, that's it.
So you're hunkered down by the lift. You're not
I'll
moving.
make a perception check if.
Yeah, make a perception check.
So I make that, and it's 18.
Okay. No, nothing.
It's my go, fast and efficient.
Let's pick up with Burple.
I'll poke my head round. I'll move up stealthily, poke my head around the corner, and have a look.
Okay, so the door is open as you expected, because you saw the light flood and you heard the door open, and you can look up and you can see up the corridor and into a chamber. Now, you've looked into that chamber before, but I'll just refresh your memory as to what you can see. You're looking into a chamber with some columns. I'm reading the wrong thing. Just looking at it, I was thinking, God, I've got this horribly wrong. But no, I'm reading the wrong thing. Thank God for that. Okay. So you're looking side on into a passageway, Burple. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that off to the left and ahead of you there might be a kind of kink in a doorway heading off further to the north. Otherwise, there's a wall running across what you can see about 10 feet away from the doorway. Yep.
Yeah.
You can see a slender marble column standing just inside the door. And that column has got a strange pattern of kind of wispy green veins that sort of writhe and undulate in the stone. So they're always in motion. The floor is tiled in sort of square bone white tiles about a foot across. And the wall that you can see opposite you is dull grey marble. But it's covered in sort of weird circular bulges, strange circular bulges in a sort of not in a pattern, irregular. Basically
organic.
Basically the creepiest thing you can imagine.
Yeah. And what's Paul doing, by the way?
Paul is
smoke. You mentioned.
Cuthbert has headed west down the other corridor, the corridor that you've not really looked at yet.
Yeah.
And that corridor ends in a door to which he thinks he might have the key, because the key you found on the table, or the key you found in the effects of Theldrek in her chamber, has a symbol of the Grey Woodsman on the key fob. What is it? No, what is it? What is the brown bit of a key called? The bit that you hold. Anybody know? Bet you it's got a name. Anyway, that key bears the symbol of the Grey Woodsman. So you're confident perhaps that Cuthbert might be able to get through that door.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me another perception check.
15.
Okay. And let's pick up with Parker and Sessions.
Hang on, all I did was move 5 feet.
It's a bow.
I'm so sorry. Yes. What else do you want to do?
Well, I want to start sneaky up the corridor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So potentially I can move to there, but I want to.
Well, okay. Yeah.
So if I go, I'll move to there first and take the light lantern.
From there, you can kind of so if you stop about in the doorway, you can't see much more. Give me a perception check. Another perception check.
Another 15.
You can hear, probably at some distance from you, perhaps reverberating around from rooms distant, perhaps the sound of the soft sound of shoes against stone, maybe. Yeah.
What's it, a dancey kind of sound?
No. Perhaps the sound of something not trying to make an enormous. Oh, I don't know how to put this. Something moving around quietly at a distance from you, but you're not directly listening to it. It might be echoing down. Difficult. If you step a little bit further forward, you can see that this chamber that you're looking in opens up, and I will reveal it to you. You're looking into a chamber that extends off to your right, so off to the east. It's dotted with pillars all running all the way down. The floor and the walls are as I described. So the walls are grey marble with these strange regular circular bulges on. The columns have got these writhing green kind of tracery or network of like veins moving in them. And the floor is 1 foot square tiles of bone white marble. And there's a door to your north and to the northwest of you. Yes. But effectively you're looking into the side of a corridor which extends off to your right and then turns a corner north, and it's from round that corner that you can hear the sound of perhaps the soft sound of boot leather against stone.
Okay, I'm going to make a stealth check while I do that move. Hopefully it will know that I'm wearing armor and will do it at disadvantage. Not like a 6. Is it going to be any worse?
Let's find out.
Stealthy I'm not. No, so 6.
Okay. Burple. You make a slight noise.
Yes.
I'm just going to make a quick check. Just making a couple of rolls here. Yeah. Okay. Burple. You
get a lightning bolt up. Yes.
Feel the hairs on the back of your neck go up. There's something you've got this. No, give me an insight check, or give me a straight wisdom check.
Straight. Can I do insight instead?
Yeah. I don't know if it's particularly relevant, but I'm prepared to.
15.
Yeah. Burple. Something wicked this way comes, Burple. By the pricking of your thumbs.
Yes. From any particular direction.
This way comes. Well, let's talk about directions in a second. Let's talk about directions once we've had initiative. Let's start with Burple. What'd you get?
God's sake! Already,
Burple.
Already. 17.
17 for Burple. What about Grimbold?
I can't see anything, right?
Well, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's just
12 for Grimbold.
12 for Grimbold. What about Cuthbert?
Cuthbert rolls a 10, gets a 13.
13 for Cuthbert. Okay, and then dressed as cultists at the back, bringing up the rear, Sessions.
13.
6.
Oh, sorry.
6 for Sessions. Thank you, Johnny, for that strange intervention. And Parker.
A 19 plus 2.
21. Okay, 21.
And by the way, the name for the top of the key is a bow. I just googled it.
Okay, so the bow of the key has got carving of the symbol of the Grey Woodsman, which is an axe embedded in the top of a tree stump. Okay, so there's a couple of things that are going to happen, and then Parker's going to get a go. First thing that happens is that behind Parker and Sessions, something comes into being.
Oh,
love that phrase.
Right.
Gotta love that phrase.
Sneaking around with the back.
Brilliant. A pincer movement.
Pincer's a good word, actually. there is a large creature.
Large?
When I say large, I mean it's medium in terms of size.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It has horns.
Mm-hmm.
It has what seems like some awful prehensile barbed beard.
Oh, okay.
And it's holding a glaive. It's got dark purple skin and coal black eyes.
It's a devil. A demon, isn't it?
Well, you're not sure, but it materializes.
But a bearded devil, a barbed devil.
Bearded, I think he said. Yeah.
But that's all it can do. Yep.
Teleport, go invisible, can't remember what else to do.
You're not quite sure. It just seemed to sort of... materialize is the best word I can think of for it. Yep.
Gate.
Didn't kind of pop into existence. Anyway, I mean, you can't see this, but it didn't pop into existence. It just sort of coalesced. Coalesced is a good word. Talking of things coalescing.
Gaseous form.
Burple.
Yeah.
Something comes zooming up to you. It comes through the wall, which is never a good sign. Is it? I mean, it's just never.
Never.
No.
And it can see me, can it?
Drawn by your life energy.
No, you don't know that it can see you. So it will be. It might be taking a guess as to where you are or may be. Burple. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's made out of a sort of coalescence of smoke and rags. I mean, there is the suggestion of a humanoid figure in there. You've heard of things called spectres, and you'll have heard tale or legends of these kind of foul, undead spirits that can move through walls. This is not what you were expect a spectre to look like. It seems to be too physical. Even though it's just come through the wall, it's too physical. It's made out of swathes of sort of smoky material and just pure darkness kind of wrought into a figure. And it babbles crazily at you. And we'll pick it up next time.
Oh. See, I get all, brave and just end up nearly dead. Or possibly even actually dead.
No, you got your new armor class.
Got my new armor class. And I'm invisible. It seems to make a difference. It's incorporeal. The armor won't make any difference.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Three Faces of Evil and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening!